It remains one of the largest unsolved serial killer cases in the New York area, the Gilgo Beach murders. Nearly a dozen people found dead and dumped along a stretch of Ocean Parkway. Like so many law enforcement agencies across the country, Suffolk investigators recently turned to investigative genetic genealogy.
We are not only moving forward this investigation every day, we are making real progress.
In 2020, DNA from one of the unidentified victims was run through publicly available ancestry sites. Genetic matches helped locate relatives, and Valerie Mack was identified after nearly 20 years.
Today, we are announcing that Jane Doe number 6 has been positively identified.
Investigators are still working with DNA techniques to try to catch the killer and identify several other victims. One is a woman known as Peaches because of her tattoo, another her toddler daughter. Police in Mobile, Alabama made this Facebook post looking for relatives of a man who died in 1963. They said there may be a connection to Peaches and her baby.
My guess is that a close relative of this man has shown up in an ancestry database.
Nathan H. Lentz, a geneticist at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, says investigators are turning to family links and DNA because there's more information available, with people voluntarily uploading their DNA.
You can extract DNA from even very old cases. We have DNA from Neanderthals, for example, and you can look at all these markers on all of the chromosomes.
We're getting close to probably about 1,000 cases that have been resolved through investigative genetic genealogy.
C.C. Moore is the chief genetic genealogist at the private company Parabon. The most recent high-profile arrest using genetic genealogy was the suspect in the murder of 4 Idaho college students. Unknown DNA from the crime scene was run through ancestry databases, and potential cousins of the alleged killer were found. Moore explains how it works.
We're looking for common ancestors, patterns, overlaps. We can slowly piece back together their family tree.
Some states also allow an additional technique known as familial DNA searches.
Familial DNA is when law enforcement searches in the law enforcement database DNA that's been collected from felons.
The use of familial DNA is controversial and has been challenged legally. In New York, the Legal Aid Society sued, and a judge last year ruled that at least temporarily, law enforcement cannot search New York State's DNA databases for close matches. However, they can still search 2 private databases. Moore says the sites contain legal language where you consent or opt in to these kind of searches. She says, however, you can opt out at any time. But Lentz says there's nothing you can do if someone you're closely related to already put their DNA on those sites.
With this database, I only need one of your first-degree relatives to be anywhere in the database in order for me to find a match.
Modern technology is an amazing thing.
Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz says she stands by the process of genetic genealogy because it gets results. Last November, a man was sentenced for the 1976 murder of a World War I veteran, George Seitz.
This is the first case in New York City where someone was found, prosecuted, and convicted using forensic genealogy.
I think there's no doubt we're going to see it more and more and more.